Hello, subscribers. James Stevenson back with another episode of James and Loki's Gems of the Week. Let's check in on Loki. Oh, I forgot to put up Loki's backdrop. I'm sorry, buddy. It's too bright for you over there. Let me put the Loki's backdrop up here. Bear with me. I have to go fast today because I am supposed to appear on Warren Redlick's channel at 9 o'clock. So I gotta go ahead and just get this backdrop up and get my desktop shared and rolling. I haven't even framed this up yet. Let me make this fit the page correctly. And zoom in here a little bit more so you can see my screen a little bit better. I do have it queued up to the last tweet that we looked at last week, which was this one, and I guess I will just keep going. Let me check my audio levels, make sure they're okay. It looks fine. I didn't even do my test recording. I'm in such a hurry to get this video recorded. Let me cheat this over just a little bit more so you don't have an annoying border between me and the content. And up we go. Let's look at the next tweet that I like. This one came from Joe Jebbia. I didn't realize until after driving electric vehicles how much better life is without having to go to gas stations ever again. Retweeting Alex Cohen, who said, "It's pretty nuts that you can now get a pre-owned Model 3 with almost no miles for $33,000. If you're in the market for an EV, why would you buy any other car?" It's a mystery to me why anybody would buy something that costs them about as much and isn't a Tesla. I don't know who's doing that. But Joe Jebbia agrees. He is the co-founder of Airbnb. Also Samara and Eames Institute. All right. Next tweet that I liked came from Tesla Owners Silicon Valley at Tesla Owners SV, hashtag Tesla Takeover Scenic Drive. So I just like this video of all the cars parked at the Tesla Takeover event. Got kind of a scenic overlook there for a bunch of Teslas and a good time had by all. Apparently, I didn't go to that because I am a boring person who never goes anywhere. I liked this video from Liv Bory because I don't understand a lot of science topics. Now, friends, I'm not telling you that I'm an idiot who doesn't understand science. In fact, the one thing that I can hang my hat on is that when I took my ACT, the only category that I got a perfect 36 in was science. So at least for high school science, I'm there with you. But Liv does a really good job explaining in terms normal people like me can understand what's good about superconductivity, but we don't have 3 minutes to watch that video. I appreciate the the comedic insert there of Richard Ayoade from the BBC program IT Crowd. He played an unforgettable character in that show. If you've never seen it before, check it out. Here's one from Scott V Man at ScottV_man on Twitter, taking photos with Tesla Boomer Mama, Sandy Monroe, Corey Steuben, and a whole bunch of cars. So I like that tweet. Here's one from Corey Steuben, taking a photo with K10. So good to see K10 and Corey Steuben both there at the influencer tent. That's just a funny... That's just funny signage to have to go by. Can I get a sign that says influencer tent? It's a good idea. I mean, for practical purposes, you want people to be able to find the influencers at the event. I'm just humored by it. Sometimes things make me laugh that don't make other people laugh. Here's one from Sawyer Merritt at Sawyer Merritt, 2 R's, 2 T's. Make sure you don't follow the impersonator Sawyer Merritts. There are impersonators out there. The one with 500,000 followers is the one you want to follow. Tesla owners park their Teslas in the shape of a Cybertruck and perform a synchronized light show. That was a good idea. So I liked this tweet. That's a pretty smart use of the synchronized light show capability. All right, next tweet from My Tesla Weekend at 4K Podcast. This is Brian White, who needs 3 different monikers to go by. This was such an amazing panel here with Tesla Tesla Boomer Mama. Here's Brian White at 4K Podcast, My Tesla Weekend. Here we have SF ___ Tahoe. That's Amy. And Farzad Misbahi here at Farziness on Twitter. So, yeah. Great to see that tweet. I liked that one. Here's one from Tesla Boomer Mama, Alexandra Mertz from the event. And I promise we're going to run out of event tweets here very shortly. I think we just did. So here's one from Sydney EV at Sydney _EV. You can't drive an EV in the rain. I remember that argument. Elon Musk, any Cybertruck plans for a submarine version? This Land Cruiser Mud Crab modified electric vehicle drove 7 kilometers underwater across Darwin Harbor, not swimming in the middle, like sunk to the bottom of Sydney Harbor and drove across on the floor, taking turns. It took them many, many hours, if you read this whole article, and a large team of scuba divers to drive the car across the bottom of Sydney Harbor. But they did it, and it's a world record for an electric vehicle, I guess. Here's one from Paul Foss, which is the best way to attract more buyers. Tagging a bunch of people in here. I made a video about this last week, so I figured the least I owed Paul was a like on his tweet. Good article there. Here's one from Pope of Muscanity at Rational Etienne, who tweeted, "Wonderful time to be alive. We are blessed, for we have one another." How do you not like that tweet? So I gave that one a like. Here's one from Cern Basher CFA, who tweeted, "The world's 50 largest corporations generate more than $12.5 trillion in annual revenue. Interestingly, Tesla, with its emphasis on the automotive and energy sectors, is targeting nearly half of that colossal sum. While it's not implied that Tesla is going to extract a direct $6 trillion from these corporate giants, it's crucial to acknowledge that a significant portion of these businesses' revenue streams could potentially be in jeopardy due to Tesla's pioneering ventures." Now, I can't read you that whole tweet because we're on a time schedule today. But, yeah, here you go. Saudi Aramco with the biggest block here of revenue. That's from selling oil. They're not going to be able to sell that much oil every year in coming decades. This number is going to come down, and it may not take that long to start coming down as the world transitions away from fossil fuels to sustainable energy. So you can see there's a bunch of other energy and oil extraction companies on here, gasoline refiners, that sort of business, right? So what happens when people have renewable energy instead of needing to pump gasoline into their cars? Well, these companies are going to be making less money, and then people are going to be spending that money on something else. What's the something else? Well, part of it is the electric vehicles they're going to be purchasing instead of buying fossil fuel vehicles. And, utility companies that are needing to produce a lot of power are going to have to buy a lot of Tesla megapacks or similar to keep their energy going, because the sun doesn't always shine and the wind doesn't always blow. So Tesla's going to sell a lot of megapacks as the fossil fuel industry sunsets. Here's one from Jonna Kreider. "Priorities are whack." Retweeting Benny Johnson. The city of San Francisco launched a massive safety investigation into Elon Musk for erecting an X on his building. The same city just dropped all charges against men who stole a car, drove it through a pedestrian walkway over a cliff, and crashed onto the sidewalk below. So one of those things demands attention from the local authorities, and the other doesn't. What a weird city San Francisco seems to be at the moment. Here's one from Danielle at Danny_L831. "When East Coast event for Tesla, California and Texas gets too much attention, let's do a Florida event. Who's with me?" Well, I'm in Florida, and I'm boring, and I never go anywhere. So I would be on board for a Florida event if it was pretty close. So Yeah, got some attention on that tweet. Here's another one from Alexandra. Model Y backseat fridge at EV Mod. So if you're somebody who would like to have a mini fridge in your Tesla Model Y, there's a company for that, and I guess it's at EV Mod. So if you're interested in that deal and you can't find it, ask Alexandra and see if she can help you find that mini fridge for your Model Y. Here's one from Billy at Billy Kyle. Cars loading in for Tesla takeover. Will you be here for day 2? So I guess there are some more Tesla takeover tweets in this episode for me to like. Here's one from Alex at Alex_A_Voigt. There is a lot of media coverage that instantly claims if there is a fire on a cargo ship that transports ICE and or battery electric vehicles, it's always the BEVs causing it. But nothing could be more wrong. Only one of the 8 incidents prior to 2023 involved a car fire, and it was an ICE car. No one knows if the cargo ship fire in Dutch waters was even caused by the vehicles, and if it was an ICE or a BEV. In the last 21 years, there have been only 9 major incidents involving ships carrying cars. Let's take a look at them. Well, I'm not going to run through them all right now, but I did like this tweet, so if you'd like to read all about that, I hope your pausing fingers are limbered up. Here's one from Tom Nash. Tesla became an industry standard in everything it does in very little time from a historical perspective. The world haven't seen anything like it before, and the crazy part is that it's just the start of Tesla's journey, and you ain't seen nothing yet. Good tweet there. Here's one more from Brian. What pilgrimage would be complete without a quick stop at the mothership for some of the freshest squeezed juice straight from the source? All right, so Brian doing what he does, picking up some information on the down low from Tesla in Fremont. Here's one from Mayor Talker at Fresh Jiva. Tesla always pays its debts, with a chart of Tesla's total debt, short-term debt plus finance leases plus long-term debt. Look how far down this has been paid. Like, you can't get it a lot lower as a multi-$100 billion market cap company to be down to only $2 billion worth of total debt. This is, about $100 billion less dollars worth of debt than Ford or GM have, as an example. Here's one from The Limiting Factor, Jordan Giesige at Limiting The on Twitter. For me, it wasn't a moment, but rather it was clear that it was a 1 in 100 year energy transition opportunity. I spent a year learning about Tesla and Elon Musk. I loved the culture, the engineering excellence that resulted from that. I loved the mission. I thought there was a 25% chance I'd lose my investment, but I wanted to support what they were doing. In August 2016, I went 50% in. After the launch of Model 3, I put the rest in, answering the question from Rebellionaire. What was the spark for the moment you decided to go all in on Tesla stock? So Bradford replied to that here to answer his own question. So again, since we're on a budget today for time, I've got to be prepared to talk to Warren Redlick in a few minutes. I'll let you pause and read that if you want. I also answered this question in MBA school in 2014, working on a small group project to recommend individual stocks for someone already in retirement versus a child's savings account. Forecasting out decades of earnings growth for Tesla was an eye-opener. Yeah, just a huge addressable market, and if you believe this is the company that's going to lead the industrial disruption of the fossil fuel industry, then there's a lot of money to be made in that disruption. So that's what did it for me. Next was a tweet from Matt Smith that I liked. The me from 10 years ago could never imagine going all in on a single company. What I find interesting is that so many people not only figured out Tesla before Wall Street, but they also came to the conclusion that going all in was actually a logical action. Yeah, in college and in, regular investing classes, they teach you that kind of the most important thing to do is to diversify when you invest. And corporations do the same thing when they let you invest in a 401k plan. Sometimes they force you to diversify because you can't buy anything but mutual funds to put in them, right? So you don't have any way of losing all your money betting it all on one stock that goes to zero. So they're looking out for you in doing that, but they're also guaranteeing that you won't hit a grand slam home run on something that 100x's, and then you get to retire 20 years early. So I wonder if there's some logic behind that for these companies. Hey, let's make sure these 401ks don't earn 100% per year, no matter what, right? Here's one from Gemma at James Dalma answering the same question. Before Tesla going big, it was 10% in one name. Yeah, if you were putting 10% of your money in one stock, that was a lot. And it felt crazy, but every time I do a sanity check, it leaves me wanting to go even bigger into Tesla stock. Here's another one from Sydney EV. Why do people keep insisting my hashtag EV needs a new battery every 5 years after I tell them my car is 14 years old and still has its original battery pack in it? It's just very funny that people have misconceptions about EVs that are very hard to talk them out of. Here's one from the aforementioned Warren Redlick, the Daily Lie at WR for NYGov. Prius has an 8.8 kilowatt hour pack. Tesla Model 3 SR has a 55 kilowatt hour pack. So how much larger is the Tesla pack than the Prius pack? It's 6.25 times larger. So 90 times 8.8 equals 792 kilowatt hours. If you had a pack 90 times larger than 8.8 kilowatt hours, it would be an 800 kilowatt hour pack. You could power a pretty good size naval vessel with an 800 kilowatt hour pack, right? I never realized how bad historians are at math. Who is paying Peter to lie about EVs? So yeah, if you follow Peter Zion, he very confidently says lots of stuff. I'm sure he's right about some of it, but when the topic turns to Tesla, he very confidently says totally wrong stuff. Here's one of those examples that Warren just called out in the math for us on. Peter tweeted a gentle reminder that the material inputs required to make a single EV can make 90 hybrids, and hybrid technology already exists. All right, well, if you take 55 kilowatt hours and you divide it by 90, you've got less than a 6 kilowatt hour pack. How far can you go on 6 kilowatt hours, right? That's, hold on, that would be 9, not 90. I shouldn't do math during videos. You divide 55 by 90, you get way less than 1 kilowatt hour. You can't go anywhere on less than 1 kilowatt hour unless what you're powering is like an electric skateboard or something. Maybe that would go 20 miles on less than 1 kilowatt hour. Here's one from Gary Black. When the first OEM signs an FSD licensing deal with Tesla, shorts will scramble. Yeah, Tesla, Elon said they're in talks to license out FSD to some other large auto manufacturer. That's going to be a pretty huge deal. The profit margin ought to be fat on that deal for Tesla, needing to deliver only software that they already made for their own customers anyway. So the variable cost on just sending out more downloads of that software to somebody else's cars would be extremely low variable cost, yielding extremely high gross margin selling this product. And if you're doing it at very high volume, oh man, that's a whole lot of earnings coming to Tesla when that happens, which is why the shorts would scramble, because the earnings estimates would go up by so much. The share price typically follows the earnings adjustments, right? The price targets go with the earnings adjustments. Here's one from Farzad Misbahi, the aforementioned at Farziness on Twitter. The most expensive Tesla Model Y you can buy today is cheaper than the least expensive Chevy Blazer EV available today. So if you look at this table, you got Teslas as the top three and Chevy Blazer EVs as the bottom three here. MSRP starts at $56,700 and goes to $62,000 for the Chevy Blazer EV. For the Tesla Model Y, you've got three options priced lower than the lowest priced Chevy Blazer EV. You can get a Model Y Performance for less than you can get the entry-level Chevy Blazer EV. So who's going to buy it? I mean, I don't know, but probably, I'm imagining, a lot less people are going to buy the Chevy Blazer than are going to buy the Model Y. And maybe GM is okay with that. Maybe their plan isn't to sell lots of them. Here's one from Ray for Tesla. Tesla owner had a scary near miss moment when a kid was running towards the middle of the street from the front of a parked vehicle. Autopilot was not engaged, but Tesla's active safety feature pulled the vehicle to the right a bit to avoid hitting the kid. Owner said he was in panic mode and didn't steer away. The Tesla was traveling at 50 kilometers per hour, and there was little time and distance for AEB to kick in. If it had collided with that child, this would have been a fatal accident. So the parent was right there, chasing after their kid to grab them, but did not quite make it before that kid was already in the street, and the Tesla needed to swerve away. So, yeah, you watch those Dan O'Dowd videos with the child-sized mannequin wearing a hoodie or the cardboard cutout on a skateboard, and he lets his driver drive right over it. Well, here's a case in real life with a real child, and the real-world safety of Teslas is unparalleled. So I like that tweet. Here's one I liked from Elon Alerts, at Elon_alerts, which will tell you every time Elon replies to someone or likes one of their tweets. And he liked my tweet about getting paid to post. So go check out that video if you haven't seen it already. Here's another one from Brian. Not 1, 2, 3, or 4, but 5 identical FUD stories from Business Insider on the very same day. Truly shameless. I can't understand what was going on there unless it was just a game from the editor. Maybe they're doing performance evaluations on their writers, and they were like, okay, we got this Reuters article about Tesla FUD, so you 5 all go write your own separate article about this Reuters article, and we're going to publish all 5 today from Business Insider, and I'll decide which one of them I like the best and give out bonuses. I don't know. That's the imaginary scenario I had to draw up for why one news publication would run the same story 5 times. But Brian went through in this video, which is great. Go check it out if you haven't seen it before, on his grading of those 5 articles. Here's one from Robert Scoble at Scobleizer on Twitter. And quite a few people who worked in AI told me it wasn't possible to do autonomous vehicles without LiDAR, which shows, again, experts are often wrong. Yeah, this was a huge majority opinion, and you'll still find some trolls on Twitter who will tell you can't do autonomous vehicles without LiDAR, but that used to be the most prevalent opinion, was that Tesla is digging in the wrong place. They can't do autonomy because they didn't put LiDAR in their cars. They missed the boat on LiDAR. Everybody else had the right idea with LiDAR. Here's one from Future Snipes. Hey, what happened with this? Replying to Polity Reality, can someone please check on James? I'm worried, given he's been quiet all day as Tesla tanked. Well, I don't comment on the share price of Tesla every day. The stock price moves up and moves down randomly. Sometimes I'll comment on it, but it's not every day, Polity Reality. So I was happy to see Future Snipes here pointing out that Polity Reality does comment on the stock price every day, and sometimes, like he did on June 20th, says dumb stuff like we will be back in the 100s before the end of July. He also said Tesla would be down to the double digits by July/August at the latest. That screenshot's not here, but I have reminded Polity Reality of that before. Here's one from Alk Hoekstra. What the hell is going on here? Daily Mail UK claims the emissions of solar panels are much higher based on a report by a researcher. Turns out it's just some Italian guy talking bollocks to a conspiracy-loving lobby group. I can't believe people in the UK call this a newspaper. Retweeting at Daily Mail UK, who captioned their tweet, "The big eco lie. Solar panels produce 5 times more carbon dioxide than previously thought, report claims." But it's not a scientific report. It's not from a scientific researcher at a university like Al Hoekstra, who spends a lot of his time debunking scare stories, as his profile says, about EVs and renewable energy. He directs the Scientific Research Center at the University of Eindhoven. Here's one from the Short Shorts historian at Tesla historian. This day in Tesla Q history, according to Tesla short sellers and the mainstream media, Tesla stops growing about 10 times in a year. Every year, Tesla stops growing. So here's one from Rick Baumstein. It's a fake name and a fake profile, if you were worried this is a real person. I think the picture might be a modified image of James Anderson of Bailey Gifford. But Rick Baumstein, in his profile, tells you that there is no Rick Baumstein, and it's a fake name. This is yet another Tesla Q anonymous troll who tweeted, "Tesla has gone X growth, timestamp it, August 1st, 2022. Yet, Tesla keeps setting new records in delivery volume and revenue. Still growing." Here's one from another one from the Short Shorts historian, MMOMBOISSE, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, who replied to Dana Hull, who asked the question on August 1st, 2019, so 4 years ago, "Is it possible Tesla Q may get bored/tired of Tesla and morph into Beyond Q? Or is it Tesla Q forever?" Which I love. I love Tesla Q forever. Wild Wild Invest replied, "Not forever, just until hashtag Tesla Q, in other words, soon." And what he meant when he said hashtag Tesla Q here was just until Tesla declares bankruptcy, which he thought was going to happen soon. So back in 2019 when he sent that tweet. Here's one from Steve Hamel. "I heart pretty charts." This is me replying to Charlie Bolello, who sent out tweets on a very similar topic to what I had tweeted out only a day or two earlier. So on August 1st, he was comparing GM, Ford, and Tesla sales and net income with these charts. So I needed to jump in here and say, hey, on July 27th, just 4 days ago, I was comparing the deliveries from these three automakers across a long, longitudinal study. Easy for me to say. So Steve laughed at that. And then I said, for those who prefer a video with 8 charts, I've already explained this in a video, and I published that the day before, so this could have been what Charlie Bolello saw that I'll say inspired him to send this tweet that got, 1,600 likes, 442,000 views. That's pretty good content for Charlie. Here's another one from Auk. This is something that is often forgotten. EVs save society money, and the faster we implement them, the more money we can spend on other stuff. According to the UK government's own estimates, slowing down the ZEV market mandate for EV sales would slash the direct societal benefits of the policy from £96 billion to £11 billion. So why would you want to save only this much when you could save all of this, right? Why not save the other £85 billion and just continue moving with your ZEV market mandate? Here's one from Holmar's catalog at Holmar's blog. Tesla full self-driving beta goes around stuck cruise car. So here's the cruise vehicle that is using the aforementioned LiDAR technology. Something has confused it. So something that it sees around it or in front of it, likely in front of it, doesn't perfectly match the preloaded high-definition LiDAR map of the environment it expected to be in. And so its hazard lights are on, and it's going to wait for a technician to come out, a human being, to jump in the driver's seat. Pardon me. And manually fix whatever error that is. Possibly manually drive past whatever it's seeing in the road that it doesn't like. And then that driverless vehicle will be able to continue its driverless journey once the human driver gets out of the car. Here's one from Elon Musk. Super important to support creators. If you can afford it, please subscribe to as many creators in this platform as you find interesting. So I'll say it at the end of the video, but I'll say it right now too. Thank you for being one of the supporters who subscribes to me. That's helpful. And here's the rest of Elon's tweet, if you want to read the whole thing. In the interest of time, I'll keep moving and say that I liked this tweet from Otis Elevator Company that isn't about Tesla at all. Why? Because I sent out a happy birthday wish to Elisha Otis. I called him the inventor of the elevator pitch. I thought that would be a funny joke because he invented the elevator. So logically, no one could have made an elevator pitch before Elisha Otis pitched the elevator. That was the first elevator pitch. And then after I made the tweet, I tagged at Otis Elevator Co. And I said, shouldn't you guys be celebrating this? And to their credit, they very quickly put together this animated birthday video and tweeted it out. So good work by them. Here's one from Earl of Front Puppy. Ever lose power, get stuck in your Tesla and die? 48% of people said no. 8% of people said yes, once they did die stuck in their Tesla. 21% of people agreed with me that it's happened 2 or more times that they've died in their Tesla after losing power and getting stuck. And 21.8% of people are currently stuck in their powerless Tesla, unable to get out, but certain to die if someone doesn't come help them. It's a great poll there. Here's one from Tesla Charging. At Tesla Charging, eligible Tesla owners in Texas can now access unlimited overnight charging for $25 per month. What an amazing deal. So I guess power is a lot cheaper overnight. So unlimited overnight charging, only $25 per month. Imagine getting a similar deal to that from a gas station. It's hard to think of a gas station that could make you a similar $25 per month unlimited gasoline plan, right? Here's one from Elon Musk. Ross doesn't seem to realize that content creators need to earn a living. We are hell-bent on making this platform the best place on earth for great content creators. I mean, it sounds like, just to give one very quick example, who I know is going to be a divisive character, but Tucker Carlson got fired by Fox News, I guess, and moved his show to Twitter, to X, where it looks very similar to the show he used to put up on Fox News, which I guess is a huge credit to Tucker Carlson for having been the driving force behind that program. He was not a talking head reading off a teleprompter, something that somebody else had put together. Apparently he was writing that show, because it seems like a very similar show in the short clips of it that I've seen since he started posting them to X. So here's the context of that if you want to read through it. Here's one from John Cleese. This is an X Twitter. It has ceased to tweet. He's expired and gone to meet his maker at Elon Musk. So John knows that Elon is a huge fan of Monty Python. And if you're a huge Monty Python fan, you must be a huge fan of the Dead Parrot sketch, which sounds horrible if you've never seen it before, but is one of the funniest things produced in the 1970s by Monty Python, the comedy troupe out of England. If you haven't heard of them before, watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail or Life of Brian or Monty Python's Flying Circus. And if it's not funny to you right away, give it a minute. See if you can figure out what's making it funny. It's very funny. Here's one from Earl of Frunk Puppy with a GIF. X marks the spot where the treasure is, and on this app, it's you with the heart hands dog coming through. I did actually teach Loki how to do this, and it's adorable when he's not bedded down trying to get his morning nap in, which he's doing right now behind his raccoon pretty successfully. Good thing the Loki cam has enough height on it to see over his raccoon. I actually can't see Loki from my vantage point. Here's one from Billy Kyle. Once again, the unplugged Tesla police retrofit for the Tesla Model Y rolling down the highway, looking like it's ready for a high-speed chase. So, good to see unplugged performance. Look at the acceleration on that Model Y, right? Well, we all know Teslas accelerate when you pound the accelerator, right? But good to see unplugged performance. Doing special modifications for police forces to get police edition Model Ys on the road. Here's one from Troy Teslike. One of these lines is different than the other. Tesla registrations in Europe reached 204,000 units after the first 7 months of the year compared to 88,000 last year. Now, last year there was the Shanghai lockdowns business that made these numbers flatline here in April and May. With the Giga Shanghai factory closed, they weren't shipping anything to Europe until June, when you see the numbers pop up here. But this year, way better. So I don't have to point out to you which of these lines is this year. It's the one that doesn't continue through the end of the year. And it's the one that's the highest on the page. So already over 200,000. No previous year had 200,000 for the entire year, except 2022, when it took until December to get past that level. So great to see Tesla sales in Europe doing so well. Not dead at all, as Tesla Q tried convincing people. Here's one from Dutchenheimer at Dutchy Wiegans. At 4 months old, someone has discovered Fetch. Hashtag Loki pic. So this is a great use of a 7-second short video clip of puppy Loki lumbering around, chasing a ball. That's a great tweet. Here's one from Sawyer Merritt News. Pepsi shows off their 21 Tesla semis. So Pepsi has 21 of them. We know Tesla is operating the rest themselves. Pepsi Tesla driver, I'm not a techie person. Within a half hour, I was comfortable. If you know how to use a smartphone, you can easily operate one of these trucks. The turning radius is better than my car. So that is a banger of a tweet that I liked in a short thread from Sawyer that I liked all of the tweets in. He's good at tweeting. Pepsi says they run their Tesla semis 12 hours per day. 3 of the Tesla semis are dedicated to long-haul routes that can range from 250 to 450 miles. We've been aggressive to push the limits and demonstrate we can achieve a high range with a fully loaded tractor. With the semi-charger, trucks can go from a 5 to 10% charge to a 95% charge in as little as 20 to 30 minutes. They say the turnaround is quick, so those are short charging breaks for such a huge battery pack. So the mega chargers are doing their job, getting these semis recharged from 5 to 95% in 20 to 30 minutes. That's pretty great. Same speed that you get in a Tesla car. Here's one from Elon saying it's been great working with PepsiCo. To Sawyer's thread. Here's one from Alexandra Mertz. I need to give you the context for. It began with unusual whales, showing that the U.S. debt rating is now worse than all of these countries listed above it, for a good reason, right? You can't really blame them. The Moody's rating is still AAA, but Fitch and S&P now both agree, no, it's one grade below that, AA+. So Elon replied with an exclamation point. I replied, if you find that hard to believe, Tesla Boomer Mama has another comparison to show you. So that's where this tweet came in with the comparison. I will let you pause and read because I really have to keep moving now. I am behind schedule. So I'll hit the back button one more time and scroll up to see Roland Percher with the major countries in Europe reporting July car sales. It's time to look at the big picture for Tesla. So there's the big picture, 2023, off to a pretty amazing start. So if you look only through year-to-date July, 2023, way ahead. Here's another one from My Tesla Weekend, making fun of Fax Chaser, a critical bridge in the Q-munity. He must be considering how frequently he's publicly owned. So I had to like that one. So that's a gem. That is a gem of the week. It was gem adjacent until I remembered to like it. That was a diamond in the rough. Yeah, so he was trying to convince people that the July sales, for only the month of July, for only the country of Norway, are a huge concern for Tesla investors. Well, if you look at the sales in Norway for every year for the past 7 years, you can see Tesla is in the dark blue columns here. They didn't used to dominate. They are still dominating this year. You can see if this is through the first 7 months of the year only, it's going to be another new record for the 3rd straight year for Tesla as the #1 seller of EVs in Norway. So Fax Chaser can get out of here with his FUD. And Elon liked the tweet that I sent yesterday about automotive news, burying the lead behind the paywall, trying to pretend that Ford and Chevy topped the buyer loyalty rankings when it was actually Tesla that topped the rankings. And he liked another tweet that I sent replying to Troy Teslike with that chart we just saw. I said, can we get wellness checks on Fax Chaser, Klaus Miller 17, Fly for Dat, and Bobby Stimson? I'll let you pause and reread these tweets they sent that I screenshotted, claiming that Tesla was dead in Europe. Tesla is not dead in Europe. Tesla is way out in front of any previous year sales. Here's a short video posted to TikTok of Cybertruck at Gigatexas. So very blurry in the second half of this video, but in the first half of the video you can kind of make out the size of the frunk for these Cybertrucks. You got 4 Cybertrucks here, maybe 5 if you look around, being produced in Fremont. So good to see that. Here's a tweet from Ryan Scanlon that I liked. Worst in class frunk is how Earl described it. Ryan replied, willing to bet the frunk in a 4Runner is worse. Yes, a combustion engine Toyota 4Runner, like the one Earl has to drive since Uncle Sam stationed him in Alaska, where there aren't enough superchargers. That's a high quality ribbing. And the last tweet that I liked this week came from Bradford Ferguson, producer of this program, executive producer, Bradford S. Ferguson of Rebellionaire, with that tweet that I just liked during this video that we saw earlier. So with that, I am going to stay on schedule and get out of here and make sure Warren knows I'm available to shoot a video with him. As we say goodbye to Loki, I will say goodbye to you, dear subscribers, and say thank you for your support. I appreciate you. If for some reason you haven't subscribed to me, like the one that's for free on YouTube, you can do that. If you're watching this video on YouTube, there will be a subscribe button over here. Thank you to everyone who supports me. Let me adjust my camera a little bit, which is you. And a special thank you to my 2 executive producers, Kathy Kitchler and the aforementioned Rebellionaire.com, and I'll see you in the next one.